Hi, my name is Alfredo Alvarez, and this is my project for the game architecture class. What we did for this class was Space Invaders. As you can see, this is the first screen. What I did to do the layout without movement, it's basically I use the same objects I use in the game. I simply did not add them to the game object manager, so there's not interactions happening to them because they're not being called to update, but they're using the normal sprite batches. I think I only made two, one for the images and then one for the text here. You can see the credits on the bottom, the high score, and the score layout for the HUD. So the only really difference from the screen that I had was it says spacebar for coins, which is what I'm using to add coins. So I'm just going to hit spacebar, so we start. So you basically start on the press 1 for one play game. I got started implementing 2 players, but I had a bunch of things that were static because of all the singletons, and I decided that I would rather focus on the game, finishing all the gameplay than actually have 2 players working. So it's a feature that I'm lacking. So basically here you go. I'm just gonna press 1 to start a game. You can see the credits got to 4, and they're gonna go 1 lower the moment I use it. So right now I have the game set up to just show 2 aliens, because the whole idea is just I wanna show the enemy grid respawn, and some other details that are kind of easier to watch while having less aliens. They work fine when there's all the aliens, it's just that it's easier to see. So right now you can see a spaceship is shooting its missile and the dead animation. So they left, and now you can see that we get them back, and we get 2, and they're a little bit faster. So I'm just going to shoot them again so we see them a third time, because I think once you do the second time, as you can see, they're going to be lower, and now they're even faster. So basically by starting the speed state, by improving the speed state, I'm going to die so you see the dead animation. But by improving the speed state, it pretty much makes the game be a lot harder the next time. It will have 585 aliens, and it only has 4 difficulties, so once you're at level 4 and you kill them, which is what I'm going to do about right now, you just go back to the same. We can see that the score is updating over there. So if I'm going to die, just really quickly so we see the score saving. Let me blow up that shield. You can see the deterioration of the shield pretty good there. So I died, just came to the beginning, and it's just basically the same thing to just get back to the game. I have a bug there. I think I left the image. I forgot to let it go. But anyways, yeah. So I'm gonna load the game. So I just reloaded the game with all the aliens. Basically just a setting that tells you what the number of aliens is. But you can see that they're shooting and they're moving, and as I go killing them, they go speeding up. You can see the spaceship shooting up, and this thing's getting destroyed, all the shields get destroyed upon impact. I'm gonna start playing it, but leave the column so we can see it actually go and eat the shields. So one thing that I have that it's a little bit different is I made it so you can only shoot at a time 2 bombs, and then once you kill a grid, it increases the difficulty of the next grid by making it have more bombs. It's one of the things that we can trigger. I'm just gonna make a holster shield so we can see the deterioration completely, and die so we can see. You can look at the corner, you see the dead going. Should get down there in a few seconds. It's getting faster since we're killing things. Probably should have preloaded with a little bit lower to see it, but I think it's better to see the entire game working. So we're getting close. Oh yeah. This is my collisions. This is how they look. We can see the different projectiles, and then we can see everything that's on grids. The yellow lines are my border items. That's what I use to like when I hit a border. They're pretty much 6 inches wide. Here you can see that they're eating the shields. What's gonna happen is once the grid hits the level of the spaceship, it's gonna cause an instant game over, and basically the game's gonna end. I'm just gonna let it happen. So there we go. We had the game ending. We're back at the start. We had the high score that got updated to 480. It shows in every page. So you can see the 480 here. And if I press 1, then I'll be able to play. So we still have that goes that I showed the same. That's just a bug that I just introduced when I was fixing something. But anyway, you can play the game again. It just plays the same way. Yeah. You can still see the duration shields. I'm just gonna kill myself. I'm gonna lose my other life so we can see that the high score doesn't get updated. We didn't make it to high score so it doesn't get updated. That basically is the game. So I'm just gonna go and show some pieces of the code. So basically, if we looked at my Visual Studio screen, this is what we got. These are my major systems. I kind of split the folders on it. It's collision, commands, data structure, game objects, game scenes, sound system, sprite batch system, and timer. My collision system basically consists of the visitor, the collision pair, the pair factory, which really it's not doing much except using the object pool. I actually put most of the logic inside the game scene. And then the collision pair manager, which it's the one that actually takes care that the collisions get processed. I have like a no collision object that I'm using when I don't have a collider on an object, which is what I'm calling it. And then if you go here to the commands, basically you get different commands for different actions. A command in my case is anything that we do that it's delayed. So the traditional command is the animation switch command and the spawn new grid. But I also have commands to play sound because it's something that we sometimes do on a delay. And I also have a command to requeue, which allows me to do a loop and like basically just keep doing the same thing over and over. So one interesting thing is, I'm gonna jump a little bit to the game scene, and you can see how that command works here. It's basically, we just call it, I'm actually new in it here. I didn't actually made for the commands I didn't make a factory. But basically what happens is we make a requeue command and we fire it. And once we fire it, we set the delta and it will just run at that time. So here I'm telling it 5 seconds. Basically, just 5 seconds, run me a fire UFO command. And then just keep doing it every 4 seconds, which is this parameter here. 5 seconds is for the original instance. I'm telling it fire the first time for 5 seconds, and then every time after that for 4. And this is basically how I make loops using the command systems. I'm not using it on my grid because I already had something for my grid for the midterm, and I just left that just because I never got back to it. So my game scenes, I have 3 game scenes, and there's a scene table where they're hold, and basically the way they switch is on game. They just unload. If you switch it, coming from update, it tells if there's a new scene. If there's a new scene, it calls unload the new scene and load content for the new scene. Game objects. So the big parts and my types are, so for every type I have a root except for coin. So I have boundary, enemy, explosion, projectile, shields, and spaceship. And there's a root for everyone. The root for enemies is just the enemy grid. I don't have an extra class on it. And then coin is just the coin object management to manage the coins. And the concrete observer is basically what my observer uses. My observer does something a little bit different from the one I was in class, and it's that I notify twice instead of setting 2 objects, so I don't have to do the distinguisher. I do the distinguish by just doing has and if it's no, I just don't do anything, and if it's not no, then I just go. I think another thing to note is I did not use the PS3, PCS3, or an iterator. I pretty much use standard composite and holding a game object list inside to hold the children. Basically, this is it. This is my product. Thank you very much for watching.